What up, though, little flock? Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. So now, we were talking about John becoming the Christ bearer as Yahusha ascended back to the right hand of the Father, which is to the unseen realm, the invisible realm. So, what does that mean when Yahusha said, Mary is now your mother, Marihala is now your mother, Marihala, John is now your son? It means that Yahusha is going back to the Father, which is truth. You see? Now Grace, which is Marihala, is now going to be the mother of John. You see? And she's going to stay here on the earth until the bride is redeemed. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Hear the Spirit? Do you hear it? Hear the Spirit? Y'all hear it? The bride being redeemed, the virgin, spotless bride, which is Mrhala. You see, still being with the bearer, which is John. Okay, now, when Christ goes back, John tarries until Christ returns for his bride. Did you get it? Do you get it? You get it? To snatch his bride back, which is what he left. You see? The bride of Christ being also named Marem, named after Marihala. You see? That's where Mary Magdalene comes in at. And that's why she anoints the feet of Christ. You see? You get it? Wasn't she the one that saw him first? So, did y'all hear that? I really want y'all to hear this. Do you hear it? It's the Spirit. Okay? Hear it, man. Hear the Spirit. Do you hear it breathing? Because it's breathing. When Christ comes, he's going to come for his bride, Marem. Now, when he was in the grave, when he arose from the grave after the 3 days, see, after the 3.5 days he arose, who saw him first? Marem saw him first. Okay, so she saw him first, and then who saw him next? Well, who went to the grave next? Peter and John did. And as they went to the grave there, the tomb, John outran Peter. Do y'all see why the Bible is saying these things? Oh boy. Oh boy. Do y'all see why the Bible is saying these things? The one in whom he loved outran Peter. They were both running. That's John. Okay. Now, do y'all remember when they were on the boat and Yahusha revealed himself later on to them? John and Peter and James and them were on that boat. Some other fellows with them fishing. They couldn't catch nothing. And then they saw a man on the shore and he said, cast on the other side. And then they caught 153 big fish. They were dragging the net. It was so full, almost going to break and all this. Well, when they were on that boat, the one in whom he loved, John, stood up and said, that's Yahusha standing there on the shore. You see. And Peter jumped in and swam to the shore. You get it? So, revealing himself to these beings, these ones that you read about, Peter, James, John, and all these, are attributes in us. our faith, our hope, our love. You see? Carrying us through to Yahusha, bringing us unto Yahusha, bringing us to him when we see him, when we recognize him. And so John receiving this gift when he says, now that's your mother, that's your son, and John took him into his house, took her into his house from that very day. Is that what it says? Now, do you know what house means biblically, scripturally? House means your body. Remember about Abba? Where is my house? Well, I'm going to dwell in a house not made with hands. My temple is the body, it is written. So house means body. He took her into his house. He took wisdom into his body from that day forward and carried it until Christ returns. Don't you see it? So he took truth and grace on in his body until Christ returned for his match. And he won't return until the match is made perfect and spotless. So we're doing that now, you see. That's happening right now. It's a matter of fact, I don't want to be erring at all. It has happened. The marriage has happened. So Christ is coming for his bride now. It's not like he's still waiting to do anything. He's coming. He is already on the way. Do y'all hear this? Rejoice, Israel. He's already coming because the bride has already made her robe white. The marriage. The marriage of what? Truth, grace, which then makes love, man. See, because watch this. Why is Yahusha full of truth and grace? Because when he walks on this earth and you follow him, he says, follow me. When you follow him, he's leading you back to the Father. That's what he did. He ascended. So if you followed him all the way, then you saw all the way how to ascend. That's why John was given the gift, because John watched him ascend. Do you see? He followed him all the way to the cross. Now, where was Mary? Marhala, Christ's mother. She was at the cross. Where was Marim? Magdalene, at the cross. You see? Don't you see it? Don't you see it? I hope you do see it. I hope you do see it. And so you must know that these things are required of us within ourselves to be ready when Christ comes for us, which is be pure-hearted, without guile and deception in your dealings, but pure before the Father, as a child, non-judgmental, not full of wrath, malice, envy, or anger, and none of those things, but washed completely clean of those things. Washed completely clean. And so, as I told you, when Christ is walking on that path of truth, the narrow path of truth, through all the lies, it weaves through all of the lies, through that path, through the valley of the shadow of death, and you follow him all the way through it. And then you get grace. See, that's the point. When you fall off or go astray, you get pulled back by grace. So you never have to worry or feel bad when you went away. You're going to get back on the path by grace. It's just the way it is. Truth and grace. It's not just the truth path. You see that? Never forget that. Your mother is always there, which means she's always going to go get the one lost, that sheep that's lost. She's always going to do it. Leave the 99 for the one, because she's not going to forget her child that she's born. In other words, she cannot do it. Every child she has, she can never forget that child. Is it not written? Can a woman forget the child who sucked at her breast that she's weaned? Does she forget that child? I doubt it. Now Abba says, even if she do, I won't. See, love. All right then. So I say, it's the face of a man, a woman, and a little child. One in one. Because that is the attributes you get when you are face to face with him. You are talking to what feels when the words are hitting you as though you're hearing the words from a man, a woman, and a child. The dealings are as a man, a woman, and a child every time. And that's the honest truth. With grace, with love. See? So you can never get off the path and not be pulled back. See? That's what grace is for. And if you stay on that path and come back and stay on it, you will eventually end up where? Love. Face to face. Love. We are following Yahusha back to love. That is the kingdom of heaven. Perfect love. No fear of anything. For all things are void. Only I am exists. Nothing else does. And that is the truth. If everything sprang forth from a creator, then the only thing that exists is the creator. And everything else that does exist only exists because of the one. And that's the truth. We are all searching for love. But you can only find love by following the truth and grace. That where I am, there you may be. I've laid the path out for you. Now go ahead on and travel it. Oh boy, is that not what it says in the word? About him laying our path in front of us? Come on. So that's where we're at in the game, guys. Being made white as snow. Perfect. Letting it all go. Let your luggage go. Because this traveling we are about to do requires us to be completely empty. You understand me? No baggage. No bitterness. Harbor none of that. Clean that out of there. Tell you right now. Get that on up out of your heart, man. If it's in there, search it clean. Wipe it clean. And give it right on over to Abba and say, here, Abba, I give it on to you. Nah, I'm clean and fresh and free. Because it's not real. It ain't. And ultimately, like I've said before, it's fear and death that the little flock was afraid of. And that's why you're a flock of sheep. Because of the characteristics, guys. That's all you got to look at. Don't look at the outward appearance. Judge the inward, which means the characteristics, the traits. So then you say, okay, well, what happens when a threat comes? How do sheep act? And then you being a sheep sent among wolves, then you think about how your natural tendency would be to act then. See? Now, is the sheep afraid when there is no wolf? Now, if a big, gangly, rabid, stinking, hairy wolf comes around, is the sheep going to get afraid? So now, the sheep live in fear. So the sheep's job is to overcome his fear. That's why he was put into a sheep form, characteristics, so that he can learn to overcome fear. That's why. Thank you, Marihala. That's why he was put into that form with those characteristics, so he could learn to overcome it. In order to overcome something, you have to know it. You have to be in it. You know what I'm saying? You can look at the mountain and say, man, how would it be to stand on top of there? How would it feel? Well, you won't know unless you get in it, on it, climb it, do it. Then you'll know. You see? So you got to do the same thing with fear. You got to get in it, get familiar with it, see how it is, and then you'll know. Neo, one. God is one. That's what's written. Neo. God is Neo. Don't get confused. Just flip the little words around like a little child would do when they playing with the 3 letters. He would be like, Eon? You'd be like, no, keep moving them. He's right the whole time. You're like, he's like, Neo? You're like, nope, keep going. He's right the whole time. He's speaking numbers. You speaking letters, so you behind. He puts the O in front, put the N, and then the E. And he says 1, and then you're like, yeah, that's correct. So the other times he wasn't correct, even though he was using the same letters. He was right the whole time. Eon, Neon, 1. Eon, Neo, 1. All the same. It come out to the same numbers. See, we just having fun right now playing with the facts. See? We're not afraid, so then we can just joke around and play in truth. Because that's all there is truth. And truth is good. See? That's what we have found out. Truth comes from love. Well, that's only good gifts come from love. So then truth is good. Grace is good too. So I play in the field of truth and grace. Now, when you have a child, don't you want your house to be filled with truth and grace? So that your child can play and the floor is nice and cushy so that if they fall and bump their knees and elbows, they cannot be hurt so bad. It'll still hurt a little bit, but it won't hurt so bad or injure them. Where they can just get up and rub it off and wipe the tears away and keep on playing. That's the way you want it at your house. So then, how come it ain't like that in Abba's house? Well, it is. It is. So come on to Abba's house. Like I told y'all, where a kid can be a kid. And don't get all judgmental and all lip in your feelings talking about a kid means a goat or a baby of a goat, man. Get it right. You know what I'm saying. I mean a child, man. Where a child can just be a child and play. That's what you tell children. You be like, go play. Isn't that something? I mean, think about that. That's what you tell your child. Go play. You don't tell them, go work. That's not what you tell your child. It doesn't mean there isn't works to do, but it means that you tell them for the majority of the time to play. Have fun is what you say when you send them off. So you can kick back and roll up a nice fat one and relax for a minute or have you a nice glass of wine, mama. Right? Come on now, let's keep it real. Go play. Well, Abba the same way. Y'all play, children. I gave y'all a nice playhouse. Now, what happens when you don't respect the playhouse? You get kicked out. You say, hey, y'all can't play with that. You get it taken away from you. That's all it is, baby. So receive the grace. Come on back to the play place and say, Abba, I can come on back on and play. Says, yeah, as long as you abide by the rules I told you. Don't be beating up your brother. Y'all was fighting last time. Don't be doing that. Okay, Abba, yeah, you right. Don't steal your brother's toys that I gave him. I gave you yours. And if you want some more, just ask me. Okay, yeah, Abba, you right. Why I'm tripping? Why I'm tripping? Don't go out there and snatch up all the food at the place I gave y'all and then start selling it to your brothers for some money. What are you doing? Oh, Abba, yeah, you right. Tripping. You gave us this stuff to have freely, you said. You said freely eat, and here I am charging my brother. Well, that ain't right. Can't be right. Well, do you want to come back in here where it's free? Yeah, you got to keep my ways then. Are they good? My ways are good. Well, I can't deny that. That your ways are good. That, if I see my brother with his little girl over there that he loves, I don't go running over there trying to grab her hand away from him and trying to seduce her to be with me. That's wrong. It's obviously wrong. Why would I do that? We're children, so why would I do that? You don't see that. We don't. It's obvious when we do each other wrong, so we try not to do that. Well, that's the way we got to be in the kingdom, y'all. Not to be harmful, but to be in truth and grace, which means if your brother harmed you, if he took something from you, and you confronted him and said, "Hey, man, that's my toy. Don't take that from me," just like a child would do. And then your brother says, "Okay, you're right. Here, I'm sorry. Forgive me." Then forgive him. No problem. Thanks. Thanks for giving it back to me without a fight. Give him a big old hug for that. Thanks. That's all it is, y'all. That's all that it is. That's all that it ever was. That's all it will ever be, you see. That was kind of sweet. I like that. I don't know if I can remember that. I hope y'all can remember it. Y'all gonna have to play that back. I need that song. I need to make a song out of that. But that's all it ever was, all it ever will be, all it ever is. When do Abba change? So who changed? We did. Abba's still sitting there. He said it. He said, "I'm going to go to my place and sit on down until y'all repent of your wrongdoings." That's all. He came to the play place. He said, "What are y'all doing?" Or in other words, who told y'all was naked? What are y'all doing in the play place, man? Matter of fact, y'all can all get out of here. Y'all didn't keep none of what I told you to do. Get out. Uh-oh. Ding. Kicked out the land. Uh-oh. See, we changed. We stopped loving each other. That's all it was. That's all it was. Now tell me, what does that got to do with race? The big old giant whack-a-mole hammer that knocks everybody down to the ground. Yep, it sure do. Kaplunker plow. Pie! Everybody got smacked by it and had stars and birds, including me. I had so many stars and birds, I was never going to come out of fatality mode until Abba came and got me out of it. You know when he be standing there spinning with his head around, it be like, fatality, before you do the shit, before you do the fatality move. Y'all see? That's what was happening to me. My head was spinning around. Ding, just waiting for the fatality dragon to come and eat me and bite me in half. And Abba Yah was like, "Nope, scoop-doop," snatching me right on up out of that. Ding. Come on out of there, boy. What you doing? What you doing? Wake up. Oh, Abba, move. Well, what was going on there? Yeah. You were caught up in the fog. Come out of there. You see? It's just love, man. It's so funny. I think back when I was ministering to a group of people back in the year 2015 until about 2016, in the middle of 2016. I ministered to these people. And I ministered, and we had many meetings. And one of the last one, probably the last meeting, I sat there in front of them and I shed some tears and I said, "Guys, it's just love." It's just love. That's all it is. I said, and I'm done teaching now. Just love each other. Ultimately, that's it. Everything I taught you was to bring you to this point. And see, everything that we have done in the past is a foreshadowing. And that's why he says repent, so that the things that are coming for us in the future are the things that we have done in the past in truth. See? If we're walking in truth, then our future will be truth. It's just the way it is. If we get out of alignment with truth, then our future will be a lie. It's just the way it is. So when I was preaching and ministering, I was in truth. You see? And so the loop was leading them and teaching them and teaching them and teaching them and coming all the way and at the end saying, crying and saying, "It's just love, guys. That's all. I'm done teaching now." So what do you guys think it is here going on here? It's no different. It's just loving, guys. That's all it is. Just like I said in the beginning, what I have said from the beginning, that you love one another. If I have one message and my message remains the same, love one another. It transcends anything. I don't care what it is. People have died to save an animal. They've given their life up to save their pet. So are you kidding me? It's not about love, and it doesn't transcend race, but it transcends species? Come on, guys. Let's live in truth today. Now, you've all been given grace, so accept truth and come on in. The grace is what's bringing you back. That's what you're hearing today. See? Any voice that's saying repent is the voice of truth and grace. Because it is true that we all must repent at this hour, and it is also true that we've all received grace. You're alive, going, then you received grace. That's simple. You get it? He said, I'm going to pour my spirit upon all flesh. Isn't that what he said? All. So that means grace. So you can all have a chance, and you can't say, I never knew. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. It said the gospel going to go everywhere, to everybody. Now tell me where it say it's going to stop at a certain race. It don't say that. It say it's going to go all the way on through, so that nobody is without true judgment when it hits. And judgment isn't bad. It just depends on what side of it you're on. On the condemnation side, well then that's the bad part of judgment. That's everlasting contempt, it says. But those who rise to meet him in the sky, what does it say for them? They shall shine like the firmament, man. That's your judgment. And how is it your judgment? Because you were found walking in truth, grace, and love. See, because death is going to encompass the earth. Death will encompass the entire earth. Nothing will live other than truth, grace, and love. That's it. Because that's all that has ever lived. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Truth, grace, and love. That's what always has lived. I'm going to tell you this one time, and I'm going to tell you it one time, and I'm going to tell you it one time. Because every time I'm telling you the same thing one time. And I'm going to tell you again what I said one time. And that is truth, grace, and love in one form. Y'all hear that? Now, when you saw Abraham and you saw Sarah, did you see a little boy with them? Okay then. Boy, was he God's friend? Did he have a son of promise? Alrighty then. Why do you have to have a son of promise? Because you have to have somebody reflect what you and the mother are in truth. So that son is going to be whatever the mother and the father are. Did you hear me? It's simple. I know it ain't hard to understand. We all say that. They even look like them. Well, you're going to be that. Now, what are you two? Uh-oh, it's but that gum getty-o. Uh-oh. So that's why you got to live in truth, see? So that the person you be with is also living in truth and grace and love. So that when y'all come together, you bear a child that is now a true child made in truth, grace, and in love. Oh, boy. Like Isaac, he who laughs. You see? Like who else? Like Joseph, Mary, and Yahusha. Come on with this, Abba. You keep on showing us why. Because that's the formula. That's the formula. Truth, grace, and love. See, that's the standard I'm holding up in my hand. Saying, come on, y'all. Let's do truth, grace, and love. I've said this from the very beginning, didn't I? I'm holding a banner. I know them videos way back, so maybe y'all don't know. I'm walking around out in the grass like I'm holding a banner up in my head called Truth and Love. Come on back to it, guys. Still saying it right now. See? You're going to see that image when you see the face of God. Now, Abraham, see, Ab, father, was reflecting Abba. So he had to have a woman that was wisdom, that's Sarah, and a boy. See how Ishmael couldn't come in? Why? Because Ishmael was Abraham and Hagar. Hagar was a bondwoman in her mind. So Ishmael has some of that bondness in his mind. See? He wasn't all the way free, but Isaac was completely free because the mother and the father were free. So when you have children, are you and the mother free? Because if you're not, then the child won't be. And that's what's happening in the world. Prove it to me that it's not. That's why you have so many fatherless children, because the mother and the father are not in truth when they bear the child. It's that simple. They're not in love. They're in lust. They're in fear. So they have bond children who grow up in fear. That's simple. It's the truth of the way things are. So it's best that we come back to the old path where we will find rest for our souls. Let Abba bring your mate to you. Then you won't have to worry about a dadgum thing. You'll just be living in perfect serenity and harmony. You see? So we're going to talk some more. We got a whole lot more to talk about. But I'm running short on time right now at the moment. But I'll come back to sup some more with you, little flock. Because I love y'all. Y'all my babies. I'm y'all baby too. Hug on me like I want to hug on y'all. Come on now, give me some love. Yahusha giving us all the love too. Hugging us. Marihala loving us. Abba loving us. We're back home again in a big old family with a bunch of wool. Perfect white as snow. Walking on clouds. Siloam, Issa la Ella, little flock. I love you. Siloam.